Good afternoon and welcome to Locked On NBA Daily. On today's show, why the Luka Doncic trade might be getting worse with age. Meanwhile, Suns fans boo Bradley Beal. Did he deserve it?
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily. However you're tuning in on YouTube or on your podcast app, thanks for making us your first listen every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. I'm Wes Goldberg. Today, we're talking about the biggest surprises in the NBA so far this season. We'll also look ahead to some big NBA Cup games tonight. We're doing it with the help of Locked On's local experts. I have two of the best with me, as always, from the Locked On Nuggets podcast, senior NBA writer for the Action Network. It's Matt Moore. Matt?
We're going to be talking about Anthony Davis here in a little bit. So in a related bit of news, my daughter informed me this morning that there are 6 different species of flamingos in the world.
Can you name them?
I cannot. But I will do that that's my homework for Monday.
From the Locked On Bulls podcast, he's also a Bears and Bulls creator for Bleacher Report. It's Hayes.
It's been a good week. I just want to say this to my co-host here, Matt Moore. Podding with Matt Moore has made me a better podcaster over the last year, and I appreciate you, sir.
Oh, he's saying this before he's about to absolutely tear into me. That's don't fall for it, folks.
Buttering you up. We'll see where this is going to go. But we're going to start today's show with a segment called The Real Question, where we take NBA headlines and answer the real question behind them.
What is real?
Can anybody name where that sound effect is from?
Was that Morpheus?
It was Morpheus.
Okay.
What is real?
Very good.
There you go.
I don't know if you saw this stat making the rounds yesterday, guys, but this is from Bobby Karalla, who doesn't matter, who tweeted a graphic from Basketball Reference that shows that the Mavericks currently have the worst relative offensive rating in NBA history. Relative offensive rating, basically just taking the Mavericks offensive rating, comparing it to the average offensive rating for this season, and they kind of just do that for every year. So it normalizes offensive ratings year over year. Of course, Dallas this year ranks 30th on offensive rating for this season. Over at Locked On Mavericks, Nick Engstadt did a deep dive into everything going wrong for them on offense.
The Mavs are not creating good enough looks. They're not hitting the looks that they are getting. And they are not replacing any of those missed looks with offensive rebounding or any kind of other way to get offense that is not just that. And so my big takeaway in going through all those numbers and all the things is that they are missing shots, but they just haven't created enough quality looks. Very simple. How did we get here? You could go all the way back to the Luka Doncic trade. You could. But I go back to, all right, once you knew Kyrie Irving was going to be out for the season, what kind of offense did they create? And they set this team up to create these kind of looks, to put them in this position that all of a sudden we're like, what are they even doing out there?
So, yes, the Mavericks have an all-time bad offense right now, but here is the real question.
What is real?
Besides Kyrie coming back, Matt, how do the Mavericks fix it?
They don't. They don't fix it. This roster construct never made sense. It never made sense. Their only point guard is D'Angelo Russell. Okay, you start D'Angelo Russell. He was bad individually the other night, but it made Cooper Flag better. So step one is put him with the point guard. It takes the pressure off of Cooper. It means he doesn't have to bring the ball up the floor and actually see everything. He can more read and react and make plays. Get Anthony Davis back. That's obviously going to boost you up just with the pure production of him dunking on small dudes. Like, you'll be better if you bring AD back. Get Lively back because he's better as a playmaker. I think he needs to play more than Gafford. Like, that's a big part of this. I don't have a lot of suggestions otherwise. Like, PJ Washington's been great. He's been really awesome. And the offense is still wretched. Cooper's had some games and they're still wretched. Like, there's not a lot to do here. Like, you can trade some guys, which is what they need to do, but there's not like a lot. Like, there is no fix for the offense because they built it this way. What's interesting is you have like the Rockets, right, that don't have a point guard. And you can kind of make an analogy between Amen and Cooper, right? Like, Cooper's like a fledgling kind of version of Amen in some ways. Not as good defensively, but maybe more skilled offensively than Amen was early on. And then, like, but they don't, Davis isn't Şengün because he can't play make, and he's not KD because he's not a shooter. So it's like this defense structure does not work if you don't have guys that have the dynamicism for what they need. They don't have anybody who's dynamic on offense, Hayes.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it's just that's what they knew they were coming into the season with. So that I don't know if that's the plan. Is that a feature? Is that what they're doing here? It's going to be a rough season for the Mavs. It's going to be very rough for them. And I didn't necessarily expect it to be this rough, but with Anthony Davis out and he's going to miss some time regardless, all that type of stuff. It's going to be a long season for them. And I don't think there's any way that they can avoid that. The best thing they have is they do have Cooper there. Cooper's development is the most important thing for this team. But even then, like Matt Moore's raised the question before, are they even putting him in the right situation to develop him? And if you're not doing that either, then what's your goal this season?
The degree of fatalism right now with this Mavericks offense is super depressing, considering that they just had Luka Doncic not that long ago and didn't have this problem. I think I think, Hayes, to your point, maybe the real question should be not necessarily how do we get out of being this terrible on offense, or it's really just what does a good offense built around Cooper Flagg look like? And everything that they do going forward should be based on perhaps that question. But they want to win a championship this year. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like your timeline's just wrong. Like if this, maybe they'll pull this, maybe AD comes back and goes on an MVP type run and everything kind of gets better. And maybe they just they work their way out of it. They won't be this bad. Like you're never as bad as you are your lowest. But this gives them an excuse to do what should be the right thing, which is like, no, man, you're not winning a championship. You're out of your mind. No, don't tell Kyrie to come back. Tell Kyrie not to come back. Trade Anthony Davis to the Chicago Bulls, and then move on and just transition. Because if you're asking what does a good offense around Cooper Flagg looks like, Wes, just head on up north of Detroit. That's what it looks like. Cade Cunningham. That's the model.
Let's go to Phoenix, where Bradley Beal made his return as a member of the Clippers. The Suns blew out the Clippers, who were playing without Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Bradley Beal got booed so bad that Locked On Suns had to do a whole segment about it.
Man, do Suns fans hate Bradley Beal. I mean, holy cow, do they hate Bradley Beal. He is, and I'm, obviously still in the arena here. You can see the stuff around me. Every time he touched the ball, he was booed. Every time Bradley Beal, his name was called, they booed him. I don't blame them. When you make as much money as Bradley Beal has, and you consistently poke at the fan base like you did last year, this is the treatment you're going to get.
So Beal was bad in his minutes. 5 points on 2 of 14 shooting. Defensively, it just wasn't there. But here's the real question.
What is real?
Considering how fans feel about him across the league at this point, is Bradley Beal's career a disappointment, Hayes?
Yes. I mean, I think it has to be a disappointment. Like Bradley Beal at one point was a promising player, and he hasn't really had very much. If you really zoom out and look at it, he hasn't had much success, and it's definitely not coming for him now. Like his shooting splits are terrible. His production right now is terrible. And this was a guy that I actually said that I don't think he's like last year. I'm like, when he gets to a new team, he's not going to be as bad as what people thought he was. He's been worse. So yeah, Bradley Beal's career is in a dire straits right now, and I don't think it's improving anytime soon.
Disappointment. I'll say yeah, because he had the early injuries in Washington that took away his early years. His prime was going to be with Wall, and then John Torres' Achilles going down the stairs, man. What are you supposed to do? He tore his Achilles going down to his basement. That's not Beal's fault. Ben talks about well, the money he makes, did the Suns pay in that? Did the Wizards paid in that? Brad signed that money with the Wizards. In the middle of all that was COVID, and people I've talked to have said that was at the time when it was all right, they probably need to trade Beal, and Beal probably needs to go somewhere else. But Beal did not want to go anywhere new during COVID. So I think it's probably I agree it's a disappointment, but I don't think he deserves this villain treatment from Phoenix. It was just a mess. You want to boo somebody, boo Matt Ishbia.
That's a good point. I mean, Bradley Beal, number 3 pick in 2012. The comparisons that he was getting to Ray Allen at the time, I mean, there was pretty high expectations, I thought, for Beal in that draft. He averaged 30 points per game in 2 different seasons in his career, multiple All-Stars, and the guy in his entire career has won 3 playoff series. But yeah, to Matt's point, he's been hit with some unfortunate, right? The John Wall thing was big among like that. There was a window there where that Wizards team was actually pretty good, but then Beal also did that thing where he's like, I'm going to commit to Washington, and I'm going to take the money and kind of the heck with all the success and everything, knowing that was sort of a losing situation. But we are going to move on. What are the biggest surprises from the NBA season so far? I'll ask Matt and Hayes after this. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Daily is brought to you by DoorDash. The NBA season is heating up, and DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the Bag Drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 points in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day. You're automatically entered then for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. We're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, stuff that you're actually going to want. I love that it's not just food. You can get everything from snacks and drinks to headphones, ice, even socks, all delivered on DoorDash. DoorDash has you covered for late night highlights, last minute watch parties, and double overtime fuel ups. So the next time that somebody goes off for 50, use the promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass. Plus, your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only, 50% off up to 10 days the day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch. Most people can't name all of their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's a 401k, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization on your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. My wife and I just had a baby. I'm using Monarch to review our finances to make sure that we have enough budgeted for all the things that babies need. I hear diapers are a big deal. It's great for seeing all of your accounts in one place and make sure that we're still putting away money for our future. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONNBA. Welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily. The best way to support the show, as always, is to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Tune in Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's do most surprisingly surprising. I want to ask you guys each, what's the most surprising thing that you've seen so far this NBA season? Hayes, I want to start with you.
For me, it's Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane came, getting traded for 4 first-round picks to come in and bring the shooter that they needed, and they've been sorely lacking there in Orlando. And I think we have to, it's official now. There's something in the water in Orlando is stopping shooters from being good. Bradley Beal is shooting the worst three-point shooting percentage of his career by far. Prior to this year, the worst percentage he shot was 38%. He's at 28% so far this year. He's also shooting the worst overall field goal shooting percentage of his career at 41%. Everything's just bad right now for Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane is playing very bad. He's hurting his team. They're a much better team with him off the court than on the court. And to get 4 first-round picks for this, that's bad. It's very surprising.
A lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time left. For sure.
It'll be fine. I have confidence Des will be fine. I don't know what to do with the Magic offense. We'll see if it started to turn around there a little bit, then went backwards. We'll see kind of how it goes. I'm with you that I don't really know how to explain how bad they all are, but I also thought that like Orlando's lack of flow was why KCP fell off the cliff, and then he's not able to shoot in Memphis either. Maybe not only is it in the water, but it stays with you once you drink it. So that's concerning.
Matt, before you jump into yours, I want to read this quote from Onyeka Okongwu, who was talking about Desmond Bane. He said, quote, "I can already tell that he's frustrated over there. He's not having the best year. I'd be frustrated too if I was in the position that he is in over there, that he's watching respectfully Paolo and Franz take all of the shots. It's nothing personal," end quote. I mean, that's not awesome when the guy on the other team is saying that about the Magic offense, right?
Yeah. I mean, Paolo's creating a lot of opportunities, but Desmond wasn't brought in to that's something Desmond's going to have to kind of get used to. Like this, I don't know that this offense is ever going to be like an everybody touches the ball kind of offense. You don't have enough talent for that. And you can be like, well, bet, Desmond and Franz and Paolo, but you want the ball in your best player's hands, and that's Franz and Paolo. And Paolo's been creating, like, his assist rate, potential assist rate's really good. Franz is really good. Like, I think it's tough. Desmond's going to have to make the most with limited opportunities. There's also just like a comfort range here, though. It takes a while for guys when they played, especially I think when they played in one place their entire career and they go somewhere new. It's a lot of different things. And I think comfort's such a big deal for shooters. I think you got to be patient.
Go ahead with your most surprising.
San Antonio. I did not like San Antonio's offseason. I was like, you guys didn't add any veterans. Your wings are still not good. Like, how are you going to be able to really get there? And like, they're really good because Keldon Johnson's shooting the lights out, which helps, but they're also generating great shots. I thought maybe it was just 3-point luck. No, corner threes, they're 4th in rate and number 1 in percentage. They're generating great looks around Wembanyama, and that's really positive. Obviously, Wemby's tailed off a little bit, but from a 4 factors perspective, they check out all the boxes. The defense is held up. One of the interesting things is like they were killer with Dylan Harper on the floor, a rookie, and that doesn't happen a lot. Stephon Castle's been great for them. They've gotten a lot of contributions. Jeremy Sohan just got back. I'm really surprised at how good the Spurs are, considering how low I was on the roster evaluation coming in.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. The Spurs are a really good team. I had a little bit more confidence for them than you coming into this season, but even me, I think that they're ahead of schedule now. They get to get that how Wemby's being guarded thing together, but other than that, I think they're doing really good.
Yeah.
What's least surprising, Hayes?
To me, Portland. Not to say that Portland's a world beater or anything like that, but like I just think that this team's made steady progress to just getting themselves out of hell where they were to being a respectable basketball team. And we'll see how the season finishes for them. But so far at the start of the season, they are playing really good basketball. And they just look like one of those teams that are they're going to take a step from where they were last season. And I did expect it. Now, this is a little bit self-serving as well, because when Portland finally does make the playoffs again, we get their first round pick in Chicago. But outside of that, just the basketball of it all, they look like a much improved basketball team.
We would never be self-serving with our takes on this show, Hayes. I mean, that's crazy.
I did just say earlier, I learned from Matt Moore.
Portland's fraud. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Like, Portland's a fraud. They're not. I do not buy the start from them. The offense is not good. A lot of the metrics are very. Everyone's like really impressed with their wins, but they don't pay attention to their losses and how bad those are. We'll see kind of what happens. I could be wrong here, but I do not buy the Portland Trailblazers at all. My unsurprising is Charlotte. I don't know what it's going to take for them to finally realize that you got to clean house if you want to fix this culture. And LaMelo is so talented, and there will come a time when he is the type of player that helps you win games. I don't ever believe it'll be as a number 1. I think he's got to be a number 2. And Brandon Miller is not healthy enough or ready to kind of take over. And it's as long as that's the case, he's not going to get the usage to do so. I think that Charles Lee could be a really great coach, but I mean, they are a mess. Like, Charlotte's just wretched. Like, there's nothing that Charlotte is really good at except for LaMelo Ball doing stuff when he's not throwing up 35 footers. Like, it's just really hard to find anything that Charlotte you can feel good about. I wish that, this was surprising, but it's not, because we've seen this so often from LaMelo, which is he puts up great numbers and they lose anyway.
I think this is all karma. Doug ruined their season before we really got a chance.
There you go, Doug.
Yeah, there you go, Doug. No, but I'm not surprised by Charlotte either. I had a lot of faith for them last season, Matt. You may remember, like, I was like, if LaMelo's healthy, the last time he was healthy, they won over 40 games. They were going to be a play, and now just I can't find myself. They have talent on that roster. They really do. But I just don't trust that it's ever going to come together, because we talk about karma and something being in the water. Like, just go and look at all the draft picks that they missed on, and you can realize that they could have had a championship team with almost that alone over the last 10 years. Like, it's just they have talent there, but I just don't think it's ever going to come together without a major blow up of some sort coming to Charlotte.
The Miami Heat play the Charlotte Hornets tonight in their first NBA Cup game, and based off of all of this, I'm sure you guys put the bad karma out there, and the Heat will definitely lose to the Hornets tonight, and the Hornets will look amazing.
No Bam. So
no Bam is going to be tough. Hornets randomly rank 3rd in total rebounding rate. Was looking that up with Bam being out. So if they out rebound the Heat by 20 tonight, I guess that'll be why. Mentioned it just now. The NBA Cup resumes tonight. We'll look ahead to some of the big matchups and a team that might already be in trouble after this. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than on FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into same-game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game more exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Let's take a quick look at tonight's NBA Cup games. I'm looking at Raptors 2-point underdogs on the road in Atlanta. Trae Young out for this game. Matt, I want to throw to you really quick. Do you think that Toronto's defense can carry them to an upset here?
I like Atlanta in this spot just because of the home environment, but it should be noted the Raptors defense has turned around in a hurry. They were 29th the first week of the season. They're second since. Like they just stopped, and their pace has completely inverted. But Atlanta, last 2 seasons, by the way, 6-2 ATS without Trae Young. Feels like that's a pretty notable stat.
That's definitely something to look out for there. Yeah, I got Atlanta winning this one today. I think they'll take this one away today. I like the way Atlanta plays ball. I like their young core, and yeah, they may have to make a tough decision on Trae Young at some point.
Would not surprise me if Matt has like an alert set for every time Toronto moves up in defensive rating.
He absolutely does have a Google alert set.
Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season, whether you're following the NFL, the NBA, or both. There's no better time to jump in on the action if you haven't tried it yet. Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup. You can play anywhere Prize Picks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. I've been using Prize Picks during both football Sundays and NBA tip-offs. It keeps every game more exciting. As a Dolphins fan, I can tell you this season has been rough, but it's nice knowing that I can usually pick more on Tua's interceptions and at least get paid for his mistakes. The new Stacks feature is a game changer. You can now pick more on Steph's points, threes, and assists, for example, in the same lineup. Plus, if one of your players leaves early with an injury, the injury reboot saves my lineup from a loss. So download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. The Locked On Podcast Network has a show for every team. Check out Locked On Mavericks and Locked On Suns for more on today's top stories. The NBA Cup resumes tonight, 11 games on the schedule. The big one between the Rockets and the Spurs. First NBA Cup game for both of these teams. Hayes, what are you watching for? You mentioned before how teams are defending Wemby.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what I'm looking for coming into this game. Can the Rockets do enough defensively against Wemby to win this game? If Wemby goes off, like the Wemby versus Sengun matchup is going to be the fun one to watch here. I still have the Rockets pulling it out because as I'm the Rockets guy on this panel. I love the Houston Rockets, but I'm not going to act like it's going to be easy. Wemby that is locked in and makes it difficult for them to guard him and put a small on him. He can completely blow up this matchup.
This is a phenomenal game. I'm especially interested to see how the Spurs going to respond after that loss to the Lakers, which was not good. It was just not a good loss. I kind of am with Hayes that the Rockets are just kind of a class above. The Rockets are probably the best team in the league right now with Jalen Williams out. Like that's just kind of what they've been, which is really impressive with Dorian Finney-Smith still not having played a minute for them. Josh Okogie's been so tremendous. Amen obviously gonna wreak havoc. I do think the Dylan Harper thing might wind up being a bigger deal because he was actually just making a lot of plays as a point guard, and without that, now you got Castle, and Castle sometimes gets a little. his vision isn't terrific for keeping his head up. And that's one of the reasons why Wemby didn't get enough touches, I thought, the other night. Going to be a really fascinating matchup, though, here tonight, though I like the Rockets.
The other game that I'm looking at here in terms of teams that might be in trouble, Matt, the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
They lost to Portland in their first one. They're playing a relatively rested Warriors tonight. I just say relatively because Steph is going to be out with his terrible illness that apparently just keeps getting worse, according to Steve Kerr. But Jimmy Butler will be back. Draymond Green will be back. These guys are back in the lineup and are rested after taking the last game off. If the Nuggets lose this one, they go down 0-2. That's pretty much it for them in the NBA Cup.
Yeah, and I think that they will cry tears of such sadness at not having to play an extra game. They don't care about this. So, look, I'm sure that some of the other guys in there, Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, those young guys might love a trip to Vegas in December. Nikola Jokic doesn't care. Does not care. Does not want to have to play another game. Doesn't want to deal with the media attention. There's a reason that the Nuggets have not advanced out of the Cup group stage either of the last 2 years, despite being one of the best teams in the league both years. They don't care. They do not care about this Cup. And look, I don't know that the Warriors are going to win because I think that they're more focused on getting revenge on Golden State for that opening night overtime loss. I think Denver wins here and wins handily, but that's more about who Denver is at home. They don't care about the Cup.
Hayes, I want to ask you about the team you cover. Bulls are 1-0 so far in the NBA Cup. They seem like a team that would care about this. They're playing in Milwaukee tonight. Giannis, obviously, the challenge that comes along with that. What are you watching for in this one?
How they guard the 3-point line. The Bulls give up quality 3-point shots. Teams just aren't knocking them down yet. So I want to see how they defend against this team. Giannis, they're not going to be able to stop Giannis. We give up way too many points in the paint. But when you look at the Milwaukee Bucks and their defense, they give up their top or bottom 10 in opponents points given up off turnovers, second chance points, rebounds. Basically, every hustle stat on the defensive side of the ball, they're losing. And so the Bulls, who have been a workhorse team on both sides of the ball, can outwork the Milwaukee Bucks today. That's their key to getting the victory today.
I love the Bulls here. Love the Bulls here. They are actually third in opponent defensive 3-point rate, Hayes. I hear what you're saying about giving up good looks, but they don't give up a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so that's really pivotal for Milwaukee's offense. It's all Giannis, isocentric, drive, kick, shoot. Well, if the Bulls are going to keep up that strategy of being able to limit the 3-point attempts, that sets up great for them. I kind of think Chicago's going to win the group, Hayes.
Yeah, I didn't think that coming into it at all. But
Yeah,
if they get a win against the Bucks today and start off 2-0, and they already have the point differential, they won their first Cup game by 10 points, they are in a really good spot to win this group.
It's Friday, which means it's time to end the week. We do the same way we do every week. It's time for our fave of the week. Matt, start with you.
Okay. My favorite of the week is there was a pass that Nikola Jokic made this week in the win over the Heat where he moved to his left. He drove left into the paint from the nail and then threw this pass to Aaron Gordon. And the first time you watch it, you're just like, oh, it's just like a loop, just like a lob, an oop. Okay, cool. But from where I was behind, I'm a little bit behind the basket. He curves it while having it in front of his hand, like whoop, like this. And it goes at such an angle and at such a velocity. It is probably the best big to big paint pass I've ever seen. It was so perfectly on target. Like it was the exact right height for him to dunk it, for Aaron Gordon to catch it. It was an unbelievable pass. It was just like, he had a bunch of those in that game, but it was a good reminder of why I am extremely grateful that I get to cover Nikola Jokic.
Hayes?
My best thing, I mean, my team came back from 24 points down to beat the Philadelphia 76ers, and Joel Embiid has killed us. To see Joel Embiid struggle so mightily in the fourth quarter of that game gave me great. Matter of fact, how happy I was about that is criminal. So that's definitely my favorite thing of the week.
It's crazy how Jokic is still bringing joy to basketball fans with his passing, and Joel Embiid, who was just right there with him those first few years in terms of the MVP race, is just opposite of whatever this is happening in Denver right now.
Yeah. And injuries are a shame.
They are. My favorite of the week, Anthony Edwards, while sitting on the bench at the end of his return against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, taking off his jersey, throwing it to a young girl who was wearing a Timberwolves jersey a couple rows behind him. How she reacts to that is priceless. She's sitting there with, I'm assuming, her dad, and like the joy that just swept over her face from getting a jersey from the best player on the team is absolutely crazy. And for me, there's like nothing hits like the hey kid catch moments. Like it always hits. It always works. It's such a simple thing for these guys to do, to just take your jersey off and throw it to somebody in the stands. And just very cool for it to happen on that stage on the road, kind of like rewarding the fan for showing up. So that's always something great.
That was awesome. I love those moments. Those are so great.
If you like what you heard today, subscribe to Locked On NBA wherever you get your podcasts, including on YouTube. Thank you to Matt and Hayes for their expertise every day. Thank you for making Locked On NBA Daily your first listen. We'll see you back here next week on Locked On NBA Daily.